our conversation level, no talking, help, raise your hand, activity. There really is no movement at this time. In our activities, we're participating and we're listening to our new lesson. So we're talking about repeated addition with rays. And still on your desk you have your cues. We're going to form rays with those. And in our vocabulary, an array is an arrangement of objects in equal rows and equal columns. So that's just like how we've done circles before. We put them in equal groups. Let's look on page 133. And it talks about, at the bottom, our directions say, Jamar and 3 of his friends each collect 2 rocks. How many rocks do they have in all? Use connecting cubes to show equal groups of rocks. Alright? So, how many rocks did we have in all? They each collect 2 rocks. And how many friends are there? Decker? 3 friends. So let's go ahead and what would we need to do? Peyton?
Add them all together.
Well, if we're going to use our cubes that we have on our desk, what would we want to do? Lily? What? Make 3 groups of 2. So everybody, go ahead and let's make 3 groups of 2. You can either use the one page on 137 to do that, or you can just simply make 3 groups of 2. I'm going to use the graph on the page because it wants to show how many each friend uses. So on mine, look, I would do it this way. Some of you might just simply do the 3 groups. But it talks about 3 friends. Now let's go back after you do 3 groups of 2. So each one of them collected 2 on our graph. But are we missing something when we look at it? Are we missing somebody when we do our graph? So, who might we be missing on our graph? Bria? Jamara. So we're missing Jamara. Will we need to put Jamara in there?
Yes. Yes.
We would, correct?
Yes.
Because we don't want to, because it said Jamara and his 3 friends down at the bottom. So in that, when we have our 3 groups and they each collect 2 rocks, how would we want to write that? Then, Katie?
You might want to write 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2
2 plus 2 plus 2, right? So everybody look up here, and we're talking about that because we have 2 groups of the 4. So everybody at the bottom of 133, write 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. And this is the strategy that we are learning today called repeated addition with rays. Now let's add those together. Chase?
You can add 2 plus 2 and that gets 4, and then add the other group of 2 to get another 4, and then you'll get 8 if you add the 4. 4 plus 4 equals 8.
8. So do they have 8 rocks total between all of them?
Yes.
Carly? Yes, they do. All right. Let's go ahead and flip over to page 134. our cubes we're not playing with. We should be tracking along while Katie is reading at the top of the page. So that's what we need to be doing. Alright, so everybody should have their finger in place and we should be tracking. She shouldn't have to be reading over the top of our cube. Katie, will you start again?
An area objects
In an array.
Objects are shown in rows and columns, 3 rows of 4.
Okay, do we see how they got that? They have 3 rows of 4. So we have 3 rows. So if we circle that, we would have 3 rows of 4. So everybody circle the bugs to make 3 rows of 4. Now, let's try with our blocks before we go any further real quick. I want you to make an array using 2 rows of 6. So we would use 2 rows of 6. I want you to make that and then give me thumbs up when you have 2 rows of 6 using the blocks that you have. Using your math manipulatives, you're going to make 2 rows of 6. And then I want you to hold your thumbs up in the air when you have that. 2 rows of 6. And you're using your blocks. Okay, thumbs up when you have it. Okay, you don't have to connect them, just set them beside each other. That way then, some of them may not fit inside of each other, so just don't try to connect them. Just kind of line them in a straight line. We'll save some time. Alrighty, we're going to move on. So if I have 2 rows of 6, what would I need to do? Carly? 6 plus 6, which is repeated
12.
Repeated addition. 6 plus 6. Okay, but how would what do you guys have? How do you have them set up? How do you have your blocks set up? How would I draw that? Would I draw it? Would I draw 2 in each row?
No.
No. What would I need to draw? Decker, what would I need to draw?
6.
6 of them? And how many rows? 6 rows?
No.
Not 6 rows. How many rows?
2.
2 rows. So, and then if I look, it would make an addition. Okay, remember, let's hold our blocks still. Okay, and then I would count and I would have 6. And do I have 6 here?
Yeah.
Count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So 6, and I would add those together. 6 plus 6 equals 13. Am I right? No. What is it? 12. 6 plus 6 is 12. So, let's look. Very good. Okay. Slide your blocks to the side. Let's pull our book back out in front of us. Okay, we're looking on back at the top. So we made 4 groups of the 3. So we would use our repeated addition and go 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals
12.
our blocks should be still. We're not reminding anybody else. Okay, so 4 plus 4 is 8. And 8 plus 4 is 12. Okay, right now I want you to do number 1 on your own, and I'm going to come around and look to see how you're doing. Number 1 on your own. Okay, everybody's pencil should be moving. If you finish number 1, you can go on to number 2. Like everybody has number 1 finished. I'm going to draw a stick for that person to explain. Number 1 to us. And Lily. Can you explain number 1? It says describe each array using a number sentence.
3 plus 2 plus 3 4 9.
Okay, so how did you determine that?
I counted thousands.
Because how were the turtles? They were in what?
3 rows of
3 rows of 3. So 3 rows of 3. So let's add. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. Very good. Okay, I'm going to draw another stick to do number 2. Chase.
I counted, 4 plus 4 equals 8. And then for the bottom, we know we have 2 rows of 4.
2 rows of 4 cacti. Do you see that? These are cacti. They are cactus. Okay, let's look at number 3. It says, Miley, would you read number 3 for us?
The grid to show 4 rows of 2 rows, write a number sentence to describe it.
So I want you guys to do that real quick. It says shape the grid to show 4 rows of 2. Write a number sentence to describe it. Right now I want you to do that. And their grid is over to the side, so all you're doing is shading those in with your pencil. Shading them in with our pencil. line them up. I want you to show me how you did it on the array, too. I want you to show me how you did it on your grid. So, and then make sure you put an area for that so I can, when I walk by, and see that. So right now, if you're done with number 3, you should be building that how you would do it on the grid. Okay, so as I walk by, I should see what you're doing. Yes, you're building with your cubes.
I'm not doing it this one.
Okay, then finish and then build with your manipulative blocks. So 4 rows of 2. I'm going to call on somebody to answer number 3. Adley, how did you do the first part? How did you do the shading of it?
4 rows of 2.
Okay, so you shaded in how? 4 rows of 2. So I shaded in 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. Is that right?
No. Yeah.
No, because do I need to add one more?
Yes.
And how would I write my number sentence for that? Using repeated addition. Bria? How would I write my number sentence using repeated addition? That's right. It's raining out, so.
4 plus 4 equals 8.
Okay, but we didn't do 4 rows of 4. What did we do?
2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 4.
Doesn't equal 4.
Equals 8.
Okay, because I add 2 plus 2 equals 4 plus 2 plus 2
Equals 4.
equals, and then
7.
4 plus 4 equals
8.
8. Okay, my next person to come up is Gabby. Gabby, will you come up with my blocks and show me how you did the array? How you made the array with your blocks? Will you come up here? Gabby, come up here. No, I have blocks up here. It's okay. Okay, so how would you do that? Can you show us on the, using the, it said 4 rows of 2. So what would I want to do? You can just put them on top of my paper. It's fine. So everybody can see it.
Put 2 blocks together and 2 blocks together and make 4 to make 8.
Is Gabby right? Pat your heads if Gabby's right. Good job. And what else do we know that we could do with this group? What can we count by here?
2.
It's okay. Say it out loud together. 2. So let's count this together. 2,
4, 6, 8.
Very good. Thank you, Gabby. All right. We're going to do about talk math.